Honorable Member for Opanyomi.
Thank you so much, Honorable Speaker, for giving me the opportunity. Honorable Minister, sites have been identified, and in this particular constituency, Sibito is Cuso. But like we were told that by the regional director of agriculture at LRR, that when they did their survey and site selection, the villages they listed and submitted to the project coordinating units, they come up with their own special list, and even the list they have provided for them, those villages were not found. Were you aware?
Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker, and thank you, Honorable for Opanyomi. What I am aware of is there's a list of 40 gardens, 20 youth-led and 20 women-led, and the list is with us. And I mentioned specifically Sibito because the question did ask for Sibito, and I made sure that I ensured that Sibito was captured. However, the sites that were identified have not changed as far as we know, and they remain so. There are 20 sites for women-led and 20 sites for youth-led.
Honorable Member for Sanimentre.
Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker, for giving me the floor. Honorable Speaker, I want to ask the Honorable Minister if there are any measures put in place to allocate cold stores for women for their products in order for them to enjoy the benefit of the gardening. And then also, if there is any possibility that they can also create the international markets for them for some of their products. Thank you. Just one. Combine this combination. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker, and thank you for Member for Sanimentre. Yes, I think we said this in our previous deliberation that our Roots project would be building 15 cold store facilities nationwide, and 3 are being built currently in 2022 in Soma, Basse, and Wasu. So the 15 will be nationwide, and that is going to help mitigate post-harvest loss, especially for the women gardeners. And that aside, we also mentioned about the construction of 2 agrology centers. And these agrology centers will be one-stop shops, and storage facilities are part of the agrology centers, all geared towards mitigating post-harvest loss for vegetable gardeners. Thank you.
Honorable Member for Ileasa.
Honorable Speaker, thank you very much. I withdraw my question.
Honorable Member, thank you, Honorable Member for Ileasa. Honorable Member for Sami.
Very much, Honorable Speaker. She has already addressed my question.
Thank you very much, Honorable Member for Sami. Honorable members, we now move to question Minority Leader, you can come up.
Okay. Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Minister, the numerous constraints faced by the women vegetable gardeners in Kiang West includes the poor road networks. Since Sibito Village are beneficiaries of the garden, do you have any plan in place to consider addressing the issue of the road network in Sibito?
Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker, and thank you, Minority Leader. In our deliberation, I think we explained that in the Giraffe project, we have 200 kilometers of feeder road. And this feeder road is going to be implemented through the National Road Authority. And the purpose for the 200 kilometer feeder road is to create access for both the fields and the market. And Kiang is no exception. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Honorable Minister and Honorable Member for Bikama North. Honorable members, we now move to question number 076 of 2022, posed by the Honorable Member for Fonyi Berefet.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker,
Would the Honorable Minister of Agriculture consider providing agricultural garden to the community of Bese village in Foni Brevet constituency to help augment their livelihood, especially the women?
Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker, and thank you, Honorable, for Foni Berefet. Honorable Speaker, may I inform the Honorable Member for Foni Berefet that in my ministry, there are two projects I said earlier, providing supporting vegetable production based on demand-driven. I therefore advise my Honorable Member for Foni Berefet to link with my Regional Director and the Roots Project Director in West Coast Region for further information and collection of forms. However, I will also be happy to inform my Honorable Member for Foni Berefet that the Women Garden in Bullock and the Women Garden in Berefet that currently exist are part of those that are supposed to be upgraded by the Roots Project. They are part of the former NEMA Garden to be upgraded by the Roots Project. Thank you.
Honorable Minister, since the Roots project is a continuation of NEMA project, I want to know whether the Root project will continue to construct the road of block going to their garden. The road is too rough. Block Kaponga. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Honorable. So access to fields, you are from Foni Berefet and you are aware of the construction of a feeder road that is from Somita going all the way to Sidjak inside. I cannot be specific about feeder road being constructed for that specific village you asked for. However, feeder roads are part of the project to be implemented by NRA, and I cannot give specific villages that are going to benefit from the feeder road. However, in Foni Berefet, Somita is a beneficiary, and I'm sure you have seen the road construction has already started. Thank you.
Thank you. Any supplementary questions, honorable members? Foni Bondali.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker, and thank you, Honorable Minister of Agriculture. Honorable, does this include the disabled in Foni Council? Sorry, for Foni Berefet.
Can we hear your question again?
I mean, does this program also benefit or includes the disabled?
Which program?
The
Gardening?
gardening, yeah, women's gardening in the Roots program. Minister of Agriculture consider providing agriculture garden to the community of Besef in Foni Berefet constituency to help their livelihood, especially the women. So I mean, does this include the disabled in that area?
Answer is yes.
Okay.
Any other?
Our programs are non-discriminatory, and every activity of either the Ministry of Government of the Ministry of Agriculture or the government of the Gambia cannot discriminate based on ability or disability. So our program includes every individual, every Gambian or a resident of the Gambia.
Honorable Member for Sandu.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. Earlier on this year, I accompanied the Honorable Minister of Agriculture on a tour in Jawara, where among the projects we visited a site under construction, that is a cold store in Jawara for the women group there. Can the Honorable Minister inform this August gathering whether the project is wholly funded by Roots Project?
Honorable member, that's one substantive question.
The project is under Roots.
We are not talking about Roots
Yeah.
project. Look at the question itself.
Okay.
What is the next one?
Okay, thank you. All right. I withdraw.
Honorable member for Foni Jarol.
Thank you, Honorable Chair, and thank you, Honorable Minister. I just want to find out whether there are plans for new communities that are interested in this horticultural gardening.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker, and thank you, Honorable Member for Foni Jarol. For the giraffe project, the initial take-in, that is the 40 garden, women and youth-led, have already been identified. However, I think I've mentioned in my speech here that the gardens are demand-driven. Demand-driven means you have the need, you go and collect the form, and you apply. So I will encourage that you do so, Honorable Member. Thank you.
Honorable Member for Same.
Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Minister for Agriculture, you mentioned 2 gardens in this constituency. When is your ministry going to start those gardens?
Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker and Member for Same. I think I've said under the giraffe project, a massive sensitization was just conducted throughout the country, and currently there is a reconnaissance survey taking soil samples to establish suitability. So we are at the stage of soil analysis, and we hope, based on the results of the soil analysis, implementation will be soon. Thank you.
Honorable Member for Woodley East.
Yes, thank you very much, Honorable Speaker. Thank you very much, Agriculture Minister. Honorable Minister, in this garden projects that are taking place, is there any counterpart funding on behalf of the beneficiaries? Are the beneficiaries supposed to pay something in addition to what the project is offering?
Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker and Honorable for Woodley. No, this giraffe project gardens are funded by the project. It is when there are matching grants, that is when individuals are expected to have their part. And that mostly apply to individuals and SMEs. But for the gardens, they are funded by the project, and there is no individual contribution. Of course, the women group that normally apply, or the youth group, have certain criteria. That is, they must have been registered for at least about a year. They must have a bank account with a minimum amount in the bank account. There are sets of criteria, but not to contribute. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Honorable Member for Woodley East and the Honorable Minister. Honorable members, we now move to question number 077 of 2022, asked by Honorable Member for Combo East.
Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker, for giving me the floor. Honorable Speaker, could the Honorable Minister for Agriculture consider reviving the Scan Gambia Fish Farming Company, which was a major source of employment for women and youth in the Combo East constituency?
Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker, and thank you, Honorable Member for Combo East. Honorable Speaker, I want to advise that the question be redirected to the Minister of Fisheries and Water Resources, since Scan Gambia never operated under the Ministry of Agriculture. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Honorable Member for Combo East, you can still redirect your question to the relevant ministry. We now move to question number 078 of 2022, Member for Jara Central.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, could the Honorable Minister for Agriculture inform this August House, when do his ministry plan to build food stores in each of the following communities in Jara Central? Buiba Jalokunda Village, Foroya Wolof, Minna Village, Sare Bulli, and Buiba Musanjadi.
Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker, and thank you to Honorable Member for Jara Central. Honorable Speaker, I wish to inform the Honorable Member for Jara Central that my ministry, through its active projects, will be constructing cold storage facilities for vegetable produce and food stores. Roots project is currently constructing cold stores, and one is located very close to Jara Central, that is in Soma, behind the police station. Whereas the Giraffe project will be providing 2 state-of-the-art agrology centers, as mentioned earlier in my speech, one in Farafenya and Wasu. Honorable Speaker, may I also inform the Honorable Member for Jara Central that before December 2022, my ministry will with support from ISDB, will be building 2 mega stores measuring 20 by 40 as part of our medium and long-term food security strategy. We intend to have such stores in every region of the country, as alluded to during my speech yesterday. Thank you.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. Thank you, Honorable Minister. To be more specific, Honorable Minister, what I mean here is that the local food stores that we used to call mangasin, you see, these communities that I have mentioned, since existence of the former regimes, that's the Jawara time, we used to have these mangasins constructed in every community. So since Jawara time, these communities that I mentioned here has never benefited from these so-called mangasins. So these are the specific ones that I'm requesting.
Thank you very much, Honorable, for Jara Central. We are aware of your concern. The storage facilities I mentioned are the ones we are doing now. The Ministry of Agriculture, just like any other ministry, cannot do everything at the same time. We are aware of the need, and we will have it in the back of our mind. There is a need for your community, and the ministry will be operating on an as-needed basis and as resources available. But we recognize the need, and thank you so much.
Honorable, Honorable, the questioner, Honorable Member for Jara. Huh?
No, it's okay.
You are okay. Yeah. Honorable members, I now invite the Honorable Member for Tumana.
Thank you very much, Honorable Chair, Honorable Speaker. I want to know if the vegetable garden project, the vegetable food stores are going to be provided in my constituency, because we have a line of villages that are concentrated heavily on vegetable production, from Damfapunda all the way to Tinkinjo to Sanundi. That belt is a heavily vegetable production area. So, and we have a problem when we get to Basse for them to sell their produce.
Honorable Member, yeah, I just reminded ourselves that let's not ask substantive questions to the Honorable Minister.
Okay, thank you. Then.
Questions must be related to the principal question or to the answers given. Member for Lower Salum.
Thank you, Honorable Minister. In your submissions, you mentioned the route is building cold stores in your submission, right? Are you aware that these cold stores, there's a percentage that these women gardeners paid, 20%. In the average, is over 500,000 plus that they should pay.
Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker, and thank you to Honorable Member for Lower Salum. Yes, I was in Jara Soma at the laying of the stone for the cold store in Soma. Yes, the beneficiaries, that is the women group that qualify. Normally they go through a very competitive process. And the women group that qualifies to own the store and will be operating it on a commercial basis do pay certain amount as part of their ownership, as part of the process. And yes, it is 20% for, but that doesn't mean they have to pay a cash value of 20%. They just have to pay something equivalent of 20%, be it land, be of equity, be of whatever. But it must be 20% of the overall cost of the cold storage project. And yes, you are right. That is the 20% that the women are expected to contribute, because they'll operate it by themselves. It will be their own, and it will be on a commercial basis. Individuals who will be storing facilities there will be expected to pay a token for at least to be able to keep the facility running. Thank you.
Honorable Member for Woolly East.
Yes, thank you very much, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, my question is whether the ministry has actually made a survey to identify communities that are in dire need of these seed stores. I could remember we providing something to agriculture to build some seed stores, but they could not build all. So the process continues. Do you continue to make a survey to identify this? Because there are a lot of these seed stores need in my constituency. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker, and thank you, Member for Woolly East. The ministry, through help with the ISDB, that is the Islamic Development Bank, restructuring will all the seed stores, that is the traditional seed stores, should be undergoing rehabilitation in 2023. And the ministry has made need assessment of seed stores, and I'm sure the committee that went to URR have seen us, one of the projects building seed stores and dry floors in URR and CRR. So there has been a need assessment of seed stores throughout the country, and the current seed stores, the old-fashioned, like Honorable mentioned, magazine, will undergo rehabilitation in 2023. Thank you.
Honorable Member for Bikama South.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Minister, with regards to the 20% payment of the cold store, are you aware of the one in Jarasoma, the value of the land that has been provided? So more than 200,000. So the remaining 300,000 has been mobilized by the women themselves. Are you aware of that?
Thank you, Honorable Speaker, and thank you, Honorable for Brikama South. Yes, I am aware. Thank you.
Honorable members, we now have question number 079 of 2022 by the Honorable Member for Woolly East.
Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, could the Honorable Minister for Agriculture update this August Assembly on the state of implementation of the Agricultural Rice Value Change project? Thank you.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker, and thank you, Honorable from Woolly East. Honorable Speaker, may I inform this August gathering that the Rice Value Chain Transformation Project just completed its midterm review, which was rated satisfactory. Today, the project has supported farmers in CRR and URR with improved and certified rice seeds, namely, we provided 200 kilograms of breeder seeds of Orilog 6 and Nerica L19 sub 1. We also provided 15.35 metric tons of foundation seeds. The Orilog 6 and the Nerica L19 sub 1 was facilitated by this project. This variety is of high yield and also has ability to resist flood conditions. The project also provided so much other rice seeds to farmers in URR and CRR. We did also provide through this project power tillers and rice milling machines and threshers. And all these have been provided to the farmers through this project. So we think the implementation rate as evaluated by the donors are satisfactory. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, this project was supposed to provide pumping machines for their irrigated rice projects. And then it's also supposed to provide tractors and a store for the beneficiaries. So if you just provide seeds and then foundation seeds, what about the rest of the equipment that we are supposed to, and the store, etc., and the road construction to the ISP?
Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker, and thank you, Honorable from Woolly. There's a little bit of confusion among people to differentiate regional rice value chain and rice value chain. There are two projects under the ministry. The regional rice value chain development project is supposed to do the the hard part of the work, that is the land development and the provision of those tractors. And the rice value chain for which you asked the question is supposed to do the soft part, that is the provision of seeds and extension services and all the services that I mentioned. So the regional rice value chain for which you did not ask was supposed to do the question that you asked. So the rice value chain is rated satisfactory and is providing as expected for now. And the regional rice value chain will do its part as soon as we have clearance from Badia. Thank you.
Member, no more supplementary. Member for Opanyomi.
Thank you so much, Honorable Speaker, for giving me the opportunity once again. Honorable Minister, you quantified the amount of kilograms you have given to the farmers in URR and CRR. And you also mentioned about the power tillers and threshers, but you don't quantify how much did you supply in terms of numbers.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker, and thank you for Honorable from Opanyomi. I do not have those figures. We'll be happy to provide them for you once our technicians are consulted. Thank you.
Honorable members, we now move to question number 080 of 2022, member for Woolly West.
Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker. Could the Honorable Minister of Agriculture inform this August Assembly of any intervention program to maximize crop production for farmers, ensure household food security, and achieve SDG goals 2 and 12 respectively?
Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker, and thank you, Honorable from Woolly West. Honorable Speaker, I am happy to inform this August Assembly that in 2021-2022 production season, the Ministry of Agriculture, in collaboration with the department, through Agro-Engineering Unit, distributed about 525 sets of small farm implements, like eco-seeder sign hose, to smallholder farmers across the country to boost their yield. Furthermore, the Department of Agriculture, in collaboration with the Giraffe Project, distributed 50 tons of improved maize seeds and about 200 tons of certified rice seeds to smallholder farmers as another intervention program initiated by the Ministry of Agriculture. This is all geared towards attaining food and nutrition security and, by extension, income security. However, the issue of climate change is a serious concern that is hurting agriculture in its attainment of food and nutrition security. Thank you.
Honorable member?
No.
Okay. Honorable member for Kiang West.
Honorable Minister of Agriculture, do you have plans to work with Ministry of Forestry in the case of mitigation of illegal logging, as it is also contributing to climate change?
When the question actually is interventions program to maximize crop production for farmers. You can ask your question, I send your question to the Honorable Minister, he will answer your question.
Honorable Speaker, he has talked about climate change, and illegal logging is a contributing factor to climate change. So this is why I ask the intervention of their ministry with respect to this, hazardous activity. Thank you.
Observation. I think that question should be asked to the Minister of Environment and not Agriculture, because in fact the questions are not even related.
No, Honorable, I think you didn't listen very well.
You are relating your question to an answer given by the Honorable Minister. And the Honorable Minister talked about logging and climate change. I'm asking, honorable member.
What's the question?
I said, you said your question is informed by the answer given by the honorable minister,
Exactly.
which relates to climate change and logging that he talked about.
Exactly.
Huh?
Yeah.
I am not aware of that. Probably I was
No,
talking.
what I asked was the questionnaire of the question asked about the realization of the STDs 2 and 12. And in his deliberation, he has also talked about the steps they are taking to combat climate change and issues that can, hinder the realization of these things. So I'm asking the question to say illegal logging, which is the indiscriminate cutting down of trees, is also contributing to climate change. And what is his ministry doing to ensure that, we combat that? That's what I'm asking.
Probably the mentioning of it, but is that question relevant to the honorable minister on climate change?
Observation, Speaker.
Honorable member, I want to hear you, honorable member.
Observation.
Of course it does.
Let me hear the honorable member who posed the question.
My question is.
What is your question? I said.
Yes.
Is your question relevant to the honorable minister or to the ministry responsible for climate change?
This is why I said it should have, in my deliberation, if one should listen very well, it would be multi-sectoral, approach. This is why I said, what is your ministry doing with the Ministry of Forestry, which would have been a multi-sectoral approach to ensure that, they stop that activity. This was my question.
Whether he is. Your question is, your honorable member, multi-sectoral approach, if I heard you well.
Exactly.
And whether he is consulting the other ministries.
Exactly.
Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker, and thank you, Honorable from Kiang West. The Ministry of Agriculture is aware of the fact that indiscriminate cutting of trees will have a major impact in our climate resilience, and it will also have an impact in food security because there's a lot of food source in our wild forest. However, of recent, the Ministry of Agriculture, in collaboration with the Ministry of Forestry, had a joint workshop where we talked about agroforestry. So I'm happy to inform you that we are aware of the connection between keeping our forest and our progress in agriculture. Thank you very much.
Honorable member for Woolly East.
Yes, thank you, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, we know that among the seeds that are now modified, maize is part of those seeds. And we also know the impact of those maize because they are trying to replace our local seeds. So the maize seeds that your ministry is distributing, are they modified seeds or are they our local seeds? Because that is causing some difference. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker, and thank you, Woolly West. They are not modified because I think the word modified, you are thinking of genetically modified products, GM products. These maize seeds are not modified, they are improved varieties. And this we do even in animal breeding. That is why you have breeds like Ladumia. So they are improved varieties so that their productivity can be higher, but they are not modified. Thank you.
Honorable member for Opanyomi.
Thank you so much, Honorable Speaker, for giving me the opportunity. Honorable Minister, the Honorable member asked for the intervention program to maximize crop production for farmers and ensure household food security. Honorable Minister, you are aware of rice development strategies has been developed by your ministry. Are you thinking of costing this particular strategy and make sure that you incorporate it into the Are you thinking of costing this particular important strategy, that's rice development strategy? This is a drive towards achieving this for security for our people, and also to incorporate it into the national budget. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker, and thank you, Honorable from Opanyomi. We have under the ministry what we call the National Food System Pathway, for which I'm the convener. And at this stage, every country in the world has a food system pathway. That is to talk about the national food security, mid-term and long-term. We just concluded our paper, and it was validated at a workshop. The consultants is at the stage where the consultants are now putting in their input on the food system pathway. This pathway not only rice, but all the entire food system of the Gambia. And the next stage after the input of the consultants is to put a cost to it, and then we'll move to the stage of fundraising. Yes, as a ministry, our food system pathway is at a stage where we'll be costing it soon, and then will be followed by fundraising, not only for rice, but for the entire food system of the Gambia. Thank you very much.
Honorable Member for Banjul Central.
No, I withdraw, Honorable Speaker.
Honorable members, we now move to question number 081 of 2022 by Honorable Member for Lower Salu.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. Thank you, Honorable Minister. Honorable Speaker, could the Honorable Minister for Agriculture explain to this August Assembly how the Japanese rice was sold in the country, and where are the buyers? Who are the buyers, sorry? Who are the buyers?
Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker, and thank you, Honorable from Lower Salem. Honorable Speaker, I would like to inform this August Assembly that the government of the Gambia, through the Ministry of Agriculture in March this year, received a consignment of 2,596 metric tons of the 30-kilogram Japanese rice from the government of Japan under the Japan Rice Program. The total number of bags was equivalent to 86,533 shipped to the Gambia. The consignment upon arrival was transported from the seaport to a warehouse by the Ministry of Agriculture at Bone Road. Previously, the rice was sold directly from the seaport. The buyers were identified by the Office of the President and sold at $550 per bag to meet the minimum deposit requirement in the current account at the Central Bank of the Gambia in lots of 1,000 bags per buyer. The payment process was facilitated by the Accountant General. The rice was redistributed to potential buyers by the Ministry of Agriculture in the month of April. All buyers have received their rice. Honorable Speaker, to put this in a context, the rice was sent in the name of the Ministry of Agriculture in March. It was received, put at a warehouse in Bond Road, and individual buyers were supposed to be allocated in lots, not in single bags, in lots of 1,000. You go to the Office of the President, you do the paperwork, you go and pay the money directly at the Treasury, you take the receipt, you go to the warehouse, and you collect the 1,000 bags. And that was how it was operated, and this was in March 2022. Thank you.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. Did you identify these buyers, whether they are Gambians or non-Gambians?
Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker. Every buyer, as far as we know, was a Gambian. Did the Gambian buyers transfer it to non-Gambians? We cannot guarantee that. Thank you.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. You cannot guarantee that. Honorable Minister, are you aware that 2 trucks were apprehended in Senegal's border? If yes, what is the cause of that?
Thank you. I am aware of the apprehension of 2 trucks at the Mauritanian border. Thank you.
Honorable Speaker.
You have only
No,
two
I'm trying to
supplements.
make, no. Honorable members, Honorable Speaker.
By extent. Honorable members, please. You have it, God. Honorable member
Speaker.
for Latrikunda Sabi.
Honorable Speaker, no. The reasons why of the corrections, I want to clear down.
Honorable member, please take your seat. Honorable member for Latrikunda Sabi.
Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker, and thank you very much, Minister for Agriculture. You said this rice came to reports collected to the Bull Road and the Office of the President identified the buyers. Why Office of the President identified the buyers?
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. I cannot tell you why the Office of the President identified the buyers. The Ministry of Agriculture did not identify the buyers. So I would advise that you redirect your question to the Vice President.
Honorable member for Upper Salu.
Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, would the ministry consider giving out this rice to the needy people instead of actually selling the rice? And, later on, the government goes back to buy rice for some needy people. So would they consider giving out the rice to the needy people instead of selling them?
Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker. Thank you, Honorable from Upper Salu. This rice from Japan is part of the Japanese aid, and it has conditions attached. Instead of them giving you the money, they give you this rice, you sell the rice so that you can use that money for your development agenda. Thank you very much.
Honorable member for Bakau.
Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Minister, you've indicated that buyers were identified by Office of the President. As a responsible ministry, did you find out what were the criteria used to qualify the buyers?
Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker, and thank you, Honorable from Bakau. I'm sorry, I cannot be specific as to what the criteria were. This is a question that if you want more details, my technicians will be happy to help me supply you with the information as to what the criteria were for the buyers. However, I am pretty sure that the buyers were Gambian nationals.
Honorable member for Lower Badibu.
Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker. The question that I wanted to ask has been asked already, and it has been answered. That is the two trucks which were, of course, apprehended at the border. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Honorable member. Honorable member for Busumbala.
Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker and Honorable Minister for Agriculture. When your ministry learned of these two trucks being apprehended outside this jurisdiction, what did you do?
Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker, and thank you, Honorable from Busumbala. These trucks were apprehended in Senegal. I was notified, and we have established that none of the rice was stolen in this country. The rice was clearly sold out to Gambians. And if those Gambians sell it to a Senegalese or a Mauritanian, it's regrettable that the rice would have stayed in the Gambia. But if the Gambians who bought the rice decide to sell it outside of the Gambia, there was no contractual agreement between us and the buyer that once you buy the rice, you couldn't move it out of the country. So if they so did, it's unfortunate that they were so interested in the business instead of the population. But yes, there was no crime committed.
Honorable Minority Leader and member for Bikama North.
Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker. This is a request, Honorable Minister, maybe not now, but later, if your ministry can provide us the list
and address of the potential buyers of this rice.
Thank you. I did not understand the word potential. Is it future buyers, you say, because you use potential?
Let me qualify then, not potential per se. Now, the list of the buyers of this rice, if your ministry can, through your experts or technicians, provide us the list of these buyers of the Japanese rice.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. Unfortunately, my ministry did not identify the buyers, nor did we receive the money. It was paid directly to the Accountant General. I would advise the Honorable Member to redirect his question to the appropriate ministry where the money was paid or where the buyers were identified. Thank you.
Honorable members, we now move to question number 082 of 2022, posed by Honorable Member for Upper Salem.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, rice production in Upper Salem has reduced for the past several years due to salt intrusion and the lack of access roads to the freshwater areas. Could the Honorable Minister for Agriculture inform this August Assembly how his ministry intends to remedy such situation in Upper Salem, especially for the communities of Bati, Jaring, and Bantantu?
Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker, and thank you, Honorable from Salem. Honorable Speaker, I am pleased to inform this August gathering that projects under our ministry, namely Giraffe, has supported many Gambian farmers with salt-tolerant varieties, which is one of the efforts put in place to address our salt intrusion and climate challenges. With regards to access roads in the communities mentioned by the Honorable Member for Upper Salem, previous projects such as FASDEP has constructed some access roads. However, I want to bring this to his notice. The recently launched Giraffe project will also be constructing access or feeder roads to hard-to-reach communities, as I mentioned earlier. The Department of Agriculture gives technical advice to rice growers in the catchment area. Example, training farmers on the best agronomic practice of rice cultivation as one of the mandates of the department. In addition to this, the Soil and Water Management Unit also train farmers on the application of phosphor, gypsum to treat soil acidity levels. So these are the things that the ministry is doing currently. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker, and thank you, Honorable Minister. Honorable Minister, I would like you to give me maybe a direction on what I should do as a representative of the people to ensure that we contact Giraffe to get assistance for the construction of this road network. Because again, the ministry may not know them, but as a representative, I would like to get some kind of direction so that I can kickstart the process.
Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker. I will advise the Honorable Minister to contact our Giraffe Project Directorate and possibly contact National Road Authority. You'll be aware of the targeted communities, and if they involve Upper Salem, you will be duly informed. Thank you.
Honorable Member for Kiang West.
Honorable Minister, do you have any other livelihood activity in your response to the salt intrusion in the identified area by the questionnaire? Do you have any other livelihood activity that the inhabitants of these various communities could engage into, hence their farmlands were intruded by salt?
Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker, and thank you, Honorable from Kiang West. So salt intruded areas only affect rice fields. Salt intrusion hardly affect your corn fields or your vegetable gardens. So communities that live in areas like lower part of Kiang or Fonyis that are the most affected, or parts of North Bank for salt intrusion, still have the traditional production of corn, the traditional vegetable production, the traditional breeding of animals and traditional rearing of small ruminants. So their livelihood still exists. The salt intrusion has more to do with rice production. And as a result, NARI, which is our research arm, is in high gear in the production of very, very salty tolerant varieties. And as we speak, there is already salt tolerant varieties available for cultivation as a way to mitigate the access to expanding their rice cultivation aspect. Thank you.
Honorable Member for Joshua.
Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker, and thank you very much, Honorable Minister. Do your minister have a similar plan for the Joshua women rice field in Old Joshua, which are also affected by the same conditions?
Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker, and thank you, Honorable from Joshua. I think the rice production in Joshua is no exception from the rice production in salt affected areas. Like I said, the ministry, being aware of the salt challenge, has introduced rice varieties that can grow extremely well in salty water. So I will advise Honorable Member for Joshua to contact our Directorate of Urban Agriculture and for information and access to varieties that are salt tolerant. Thank you.
Honorable Member for Central Badibu.
Thank you. Honorable Minister, can you inform the August gathering whether you have a framework or a strategic plan how to ensure that access to the fields and to the markets are really catered for, by looking at the past projects of First Step and Roots?
Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker, and thank you, Honorable from Badibu Central. Yes, we have a strategy and a roadmap. There is what we call the Gambia National Investment, Agriculture Investment Plan. There's also food and nutrition security. These are all agricultural policies. However, to be specific about access to market and access to the fields, I think I've elaborated on this in my previous deliberation, that part of our giraffe project is going to be dedicated to 200 kilometers of feeder roads. And these feeder roads are going to improve access to the fields and to the vegetable gardens. And also I talked about us constructing agrology centers. These agrology centers, I said, are going to be one-stop shops. And that means they will have a garage that will give access for the women to bring the produce. It will have a market. They will sell, and if there are leftovers, the agrology center will also have storage facilities. They'll be able to store. And once they sell, they don't have to go home with the money. There will also be banks at those centers. So this is what we are doing as far as access to the fields and access to market is concerned. Thank you.
Honorable Member for Busumbala.
Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker, and thank you very much, Honorable Minister for Agriculture. I want your ministry, I want you to enlighten us about your ministry's support and readiness to make sure that you improve this traditional farming you are talking about in the area of maize crop production and other areas.
Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker. Thank you, Honorable from Busumbala. Yes, we are fully aware of the need to improve our traditional maize cultivation because maize forms the basis for our chicken feed, and until we develop that feed, we will not be protein sufficient. And this is the reason why this year we distributed those 50 metric tons of improved varieties of corn. They are very high yield, they are disease resistant, and I think that is one step towards improving our traditional production of corn or maize. Thank you.
Honorable Member for Tumanda.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. Are there plans to prevent salt intrusion into other areas, such as upper parts of LRR, CRR, and URR? Thank you.
Thank you very much. I think I heard the honorable member for Woolly trying to say there is no salt in URR. Yes, I think he's right. There is no salt in URR. So preventing salt intrusion is an extremely daunting challenge, and it is a major climate phenomenon. What we can do or should do is to try to live with the salt intrusion, and that is to introduce varieties that will grow in salty water. I think that is a cheaper and more sustainable way of dealing with the salt intrusion than trying to stop it, because it is extremely costly and it's a major phenomenon. So the ministry's focus is to introduce varieties that will do well in salty areas, so you don't have to worry about the intrusion of salt. Thank you.
Honorable members, we now move to question number 083 of 2022 by the member for Serekunda West.
Thank you, Honorable Minister. Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, the indications are that our farmers were faced with a very high price of fertilizer during the current farming season. Could the Honorable Minister for Agriculture provide an update to this August Assembly on the tons of fertilizer bought for this farming season?
Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker, and thank you, Honorable from Serekunda West. Honorable Speaker, fertilizer price, just like most commodities, were affected by disruptions in our global supply chains caused by COVID-19 and of recent, the Ukraine war. However, the government has made subsidized fertilizer available to the farmers in this country, and in 2021-2022 season, 14,000 metric tons of fertilizer were imported for the farmers of the Gambia. Thank you.
Honorable Speaker, this August Assembly is aware that the current season, that is this 2021-22 season, fertilizer was bought and in stock. I'm not talking about what you've purchased recently. These things are purchased before the Ukraine war. What happened to those tons of fertilizer?
Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker, and thank you, Honorable Serekunda West. There was a fertilizer purchase prior to the season of 2021-2022, and the plan was for it to be sustaining this country for 2 years. However, I think part of the question yesterday from our Honorable from Jokadu dealt with the issue of fertilizer leak across the border in the previous year. And every fertilizer that was bought could not be here for 2 years because fertilizer leaked out of the country through scrupulous practices, and I think we did address that yesterday. So the entire fertilizer stock that we have is the stock that was bought for the 2021-2022 season. We do not have stock from previous years. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Honorable Minister. Could you inform this August House what were the measures that you have taken on those scrupulous people who have managed to smuggle fertilizer that was meant for our Gambian farmers to outsiders?
Thank you very much. See, for you to do something, I guess crime must be committed. We at the Ministry of Agriculture understand that people behaved immorally but might not be illegally. So buying fertilizer and taking it across the border at that time probably wasn't a crime. It was immoral, it was un-Gambian, it was unhelpful, it was not dignified to do. But yes, businessmen who were money force instead of Gambia force did so. And as far as we know, it is very unfortunate. Our role is to put in place mechanisms to stop that kind of practice happening. And that is exactly what we did for the 2021-2022 season. That individuals can only buy from their known local cooperatives and also they can only buy from the mixed farming centers of the Ministry of Agriculture. And that way, this year, we haven't had any reports of fertilizer bleeding out across the border. However, what happened in the previous year, we could not establish that any law was broken, and we did not have any advice in that line. However, we think it is immoral. We think it is on Gambia. Thank you.
Honorable Member for Ileasa.
Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker. Thank you very much, Honorable Minister. As Gambians are crying for the high price of fertilizer this year, what plan do your ministry have to reduce the price of fertilizer for an average farmer to purchase next year? Thank you.
Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker, and thank you, Honorable from Ileasa. Fertilizer price or fertilizer as a commodity, like I said earlier, is no exception from all other commodities that have gone through the current shocks in the world. And fertilizer price, I'm sure you are aware, did cost the government on average, $3,500 per bag on average. And the government subsidized about $1,500 per bag, leaving the farmer to pay $2,000. This price, as high as may sound, is competitive in the sub-region, and this price, it's reasonable given our economic challenges, and this is the correct price that we think is midway. It will help the farmer, but also allow the government a breathing space so that we are able to buy another stock next year. The price we think is reasonable. Thank you.
Honorable Member for Central Badibu.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Minister, can we safely conclude that you are not ready to fight corruption? Because you confirmed to us that unscrupulous people, you confirmed that you call them unscrupulous who are engaged in the fertilizer deal. Now you are telling us that it's difficult to tell whether they commit a crime. Can you define crime?
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. I don't know what the Honorable Member for Badibu is trying to allude to. When you say corruption, these are not individuals under the Ministry of Agriculture. These are not civil servants. These are individual Gambian businessmen who bought the fertilizer and took it to Senegal. And what do you call that corruption? That cannot be corruption. Corruption is if these were our staff, if these were a civil servant, if they were under the Ministry of Agriculture, yes. But if Gambians, the ministry had a limit to the amount of fertilizer an individual can buy. And if you went and collect 7 of your relatives and queue with them, and each of them buy 7 bags, that will afford you 70 bags. And if you took that to Senegal, why will the Ministry of Agriculture be asked about corruption? I don't think that has anything to do with corruption, and the ministry wasn't responsible for that either. Thank you very much.
Honorable Member for Upper Fuladu West.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Thank you so much, Honorable Minister. I just want you to tell this August gathering, as I said, like last year, some farmers were complaining that enough fertilizer was brought into the country, but still there are farmers who were crying that they could not have fertilizer. So, do your ministry have any plan in order to have that, how to call it, good control over the way fertilizers, are sold to farmers in this country?
Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker, and thank you, Member for Upper Fuladu. Currently, we have about 82 cooperatives in the country, and we have quite a number of mixed farming centers. As a way to control fertilizer leak across, we have decided that fertilizer be sold at our mixed farming centers and using their cooperatives. So there are cooperative societies nationwide, and there are mixed farming centers nationwide. So fertilizer is available and accessible. I'll advise Honorable Member for Upper Pladu to check with the nearest mixed farming center in your constituency or the cooperative society around in and around your constituency. That is a way to mitigate what we planned in the previous years, and it's a control measure. However, the access to fertilizer is sufficient. People know where fertilizer is, so there is access and it's still available. Thank you.
Honorable Member for Janjambure.
Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker. And my question to the Honorable Minister will be, I just want to know, when was the first consignment of the 2021 farming season fertilizer received by the Ministry of Agriculture?
Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker. Thank you, Honorable from Janjambure. I know it was in country sufficient time before the beginning of the rainy season. However, I cannot be date specific as to the date exactly that the fertilizer got in the country. But I am pretty sure that it was in country sufficient time for the farmers to access it for the rainy season. Thank you.
Honorable Member for Woolly East.
Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, we know that fertilizer is a very expensive commodity. And as you said, the Ukraine war has even made it worse. But of recent, we are aware that Russia is providing fertilizer to poor African countries, free of charge. Is your ministry aware of this? And if you are aware, have you made any attempt to actually access this very important provision? Thank you.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker, and thank you, Honorable from Woolly East. As far as we are concerned, we are not aware of Russia giving free fertilizer to African countries. However, we will be interested in such an offer because our interest is to get fertilizer for our farmers. But as far as we are concerned, we are not aware of free fertilizer in the market. Thank you.
Honorable members, we now move to question number 084 of 2022, posed by member for Lower Badibu.
Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker, and thank you very much, Honorable Minister. Honorable Speaker, could the Honorable Minister for Agriculture consider providing security fence to the women vegetable gardens in the southern part of Lower Badibu, which are currently in poor stage and without proper fences? Thank you.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker, and thank you, Honorable Member for Lower Badibu. Honorable Speaker, the Roots and the Giraffe project both have a component to boost production and productivity of women vegetable produce. These projects will rehabilitate vegetable gardens and establish new gardens. The projects are operating in almost all agricultural regions of the Gambia. For the Department of Agriculture, there is a vote line called Agriculture Input, Land Leveling and Fencing. Due to resource constraint, the department cannot solve the problems of poor fencing for some vegetable gardens. However, progress was made in 2020-2021 season, where some vegetable gardens were provided with chain link wire ranging from 5 to 15 bundles to about 10 gardens. They were able to do this, and they did this to enhance the capacity and income security of the vegetable gardeners. To add on to this, I think I mentioned earlier that vegetable gardening is a major priority for the ministry, and projects are demand-driven. That is the Giraffe and Roots project. The Giraffe project have already identified the 40 gardens. The Roots project, it's rehabilitating Nema gardens, and also it will build 30 new gardens. So what I'll advise the honorable member to do is to liaise with our regional directorate in North Bank, plus the director of Roots in the North Bank, to be part of the applicants for the prospective gardens to be constructed or gardens to be rehabilitated. Thank you.
Thank you. I do not have any subsequent question.
Thank you, Honorable Member. Honorable Member for Basse.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. My question was partially been answered because my concern was this garden fencing, but the Honorable Minister have answered it because it's a concern because the ministry have a giant project which they were constructing stores or how to call it, cold stores for vegetables. But the first step is to at least have a good fencing so that at least the women can be at ease so that they can cultivate this vegetable and get it to the stores. But thank God, and the minister have already addressed
Honorable Member.
that. So
Thank
I
you
withdraw
very
my
much.
questions.
Honorable Member for Ilyasa.
Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker. Thank you very much, Honorable Minister. I want to concur with my colleague, the Honorable Member for Lower Badibu. It is true that people around the southern part of our area, like from Kirawan down to Farafenye, those people definitely are not benefiting as far as these garden projects are concerned. So I don't know what your ministry is doing to help those people to benefit from these projects.
Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker, and thank you, Honorable from Ilyasa. I think I'm happy to inform you that Ilyasa is no exception. I don't know if we spoke directly about this or not, but Ilyasa, both the Badibus have quite a number of gardens allocated to them as part of the 20 women-led and the 20 youth-led garden. So if you want to be specific about or know which exact community has qualified in your area, we'll be happy to provide you with the information, or you can directly contact our director for Giraffe project. You will get the information as to the exact communities that has benefited, but I can assure you that there are communities in the North Bank and specifically in the Badibus that have definitely qualified for the gardens. Thank you.
Honorable Member for Kiang West.
Honorable Minister of Agriculture, of recent we've realized mass intervention in the area of women gardening and defense, which is one thing, but sustainability is another thing. And if you move around, you realize that the fencing mechanism is having a problem, that the length between wire poles is too far, and therefore the wires will fall in a short period of time. What is a sustainability mechanism that you guys are doing in consultation with the beneficiaries? Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker. Thank you, Honorable from Kiang West. This is a very important question, and I think I like it for enlightenment purpose. Part of the project has a component of sustainability. I think we've learned this in the previous agriculture projects. They will come in, do very well, and they will wrap up, and it will collapse. Part of the components of projects now is sustainability and ownership by the beneficiaries. Because if you operate in a garden for a period of 5 years, I think they should be able to collect a minimal amount from every beneficiary as they cultivate and as they harvest and sell, so that they are able to maintain their garden, because these projects are not going to be here for eternity. They are not going to be here forever. Projects come, they maximum of 5 years, 6 years, they phase out. So part of the sensitization program itself, even before these gardens are built, what is built in is the issue of sensitizing the beneficiaries about sustainability. So we are fully aware of the sustainability challenge, but it's inculcated as part of the programs that projects beneficiaries take ownership, and they be aware of the fact that projects will phase out and they must be able to sustain it. Thank you.
Honorable Member for Sami.
Very much, Honorable Speaker, for giving me the floor. Honorable Minister, the Honorable Member for Ilyasa is saying that most of the villages in this area are not included. What criteria did you use as a ministry to identify those villages?
Thank you very much, Honorable from Same. I'm not sure if he say if most, of course, most villages will not be included. We are only talking about 40 gardens. Gambia has 1,881 villages. So it is natural that most villages will not be included. It's obvious. Thank you.
Thank you very much. We now have the honorable member for Bundung Kapunda.
Yes, thank you very much, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Minister, I think excuse me. Honorable Speaker, thank you very much, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Minister, I think this project is a very important project, and I understand most of the members, I don't know whether they don't understand the contact. I just want to know these beneficiaries in various communities, who are the contact persons who normally facilitate their application? Is it the National Assembly members or the ward councillors? Because this project is mainly community-driven project, and normally most of those projects goes directly to the councillors. So this is what I want you to clear to me, please. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker, and thank you, Honorable from Bundung. A nationwide sensitization was conducted by these projects. Groups were invited to apply, and based on the information they supplied, an assessment was done, and groups qualified. And based on the groups that qualified, these facilities will be extended to those groups in the locations where they dwell. So they were not given through a councillor or through an honorable member of parliament. These projects were given based on the applications submitted by women groups or youth groups with a set of criteria. And that is what the process was. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Honorable Member for Bundung and Honorable Minister. We now move on to question number 085 of 2022, posed by Member for Sabak Sanjar.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, could the Honorable Minister for Agriculture inform this August Assembly of the Ministry's plan to minimize post-harvest loss of vegetables, local vegetables, please?
Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker, and thank you, Honorable from Sabak Sanjal. Post-harvest loss is a major concern for the ministry and is a major concern for our food system pathway. And in fact, like I said yesterday, there was a whole summit, a week summit in Kigali of African agriculture ministers talking specifically about the concern about food waste. So in our part of the world, it's almost about 30% of our food goes to waste, either in harvest time or at consumption. Honorable Speaker, I want to inform this honorable member from Sabak Sanjal. Like I said earlier, the Roots and the Giraffe project under my ministry will be constructing cold storage facilities. And we think these cold storage facilities will help the waste of vegetables from our women gardeners. And that said, we also mentioned about the Roots project going to be building very soon the 2 agrology centers. And these agrology centers, like I said, will have market, will have a cold store, and also will have bank and will have garage. So this will help in handling our post-harvest waste. But again, we also talked about the mega stores that we intend to build in every region. And like I said, the first 2 will be erected, one in CRR, one in URR, measuring 20 by 40. I think this will help in storage of our produce, and it will minimize our post-harvest losses. Thank you.
Thank you, Honorable Minister. You mentioned that there are centers that are to be constructed to minimize post-harvest loss. What plans are you making to make sure that it is cross-cutting across the country to make sure that at least every part of this country will have a storage facility. For example, in my area in Sabasanja, the women they engage a lot on tomatoes and other vegetables, but there is no storage facility in that area, and that results to a loss of many of those post-harvest are lost. So I want you to tell me what plans you are making to make sure that these centers are cross-cutting the whole country. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker. Thank you, Honorable from Sabak Sanjal. We are aware of the need for these facilities nationwide. And that is why the 15 that are under the Roots project are going to be nationwide too. However, 15 will not be sufficient to cover the entire country, village by village. And that is why the agrology centers come in handy, because the agrology centers are huge. And I think if you are in Sabak Sanjal, your nearest biggest market for your produce is Farafenni. And that is why Farafenni has been identified as a site for one of the agrology centers. That way, communities around Sabak Sanjal and either Ilyasa and parts of even the Badibus are able to use this agrology center to sell any produce that is left over, because it will have the capacity. It is going to be a mega site to be able to help in this food waste management.
Thank you. Once again, if that center is built in Farafenni, what mechanism is the ministry putting in place to make sure that all those that are living in that area would have at least access to it? And because if the area of Farafenni is saying, no, this belongs to Farafenni, I'm afraid my people might not benefit from it.
Yeah, thank you very much, Honorable Speaker, and thank you, Honorable from Sabak Sanjal. I think it will be part of our sensitization program. Our goal is, this is a project for the entire Gambia. It is not a village specific. And also, our goal is to minimize food waste. So we will do whatever it takes, part of our sensitization, that these projects cover as many people as possible. Let the facility be as utilized as it can be. And we will endeavor to achieve that goal. Thank you.
Honorable Member for Lower Salum.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. Thank you, Honorable Minister. I will take you back to your submission on the routes. Don't you think that these cold stores that Roots are trying to build in constituencies or regions, for instance, in Lower Salum, is Lower Salum, Upper Salum, Nyanija, and Salum. The cold store perimeter is 8 by 10. Only Lower Salum can occupy that one because we have 3 gardens, 4 women's gardens. And the 20% that is to paid by the women is 20% at the equivalent of $525,000, which the land is acquired is part of it. The land is less than $25,000. In fact, it's for free. And there's a constraint on the women now to pay.
Honorable Member, please pose your question.
I'm coming. Honorable,
you are not making a debate.
No. I have to help the minister.
No, just pose your question.
This is
no, pose your question. You can give it a small preamble for him to understand.
Point of order. Point of order. Point of order. Point of order.
Yes, Central Body.
Order 43, subsection 1, clause 1. Supplementary questions may be put for the purpose of eliciting an oral answer. 2, the member, the time taken to ask a supplementary question shall not be longer than 1 minute. And what the honorable member is doing is more than 1 minute.
Yes, thank you. It's noted. It's noted.
Yeah, it's more even honorable member.
Yes,
than that. Honorable member, just please ask your question.
Sorry. Do you think it's sufficient for 5 regions to get one cold store for 8 by 20 meters, so 10 meters?
Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker and member for Lower Salum. Do I think it's enough? No, it's not enough. Thank you.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Minister, post-harvest loss, I believe, is beyond building cold stores. Do you have other ways and means to battle this situation or to reduce post-harvest loss?
Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker, and thank you, Honorable from Badibu. Post-harvest loss starts from us as individuals. Post-harvest loss, in fact, includes the amount of food you put on your lunch plate, because we are all wasting food. And the food most wasted is wasted after it has, in fact, been prepared. So post-harvest loss is very cross-cutting. It is not only the farm perspective. When we talk about post-harvest loss, our mind only goes to the farm and the warehouse. Post-harvest loss is a social responsibility. Post-harvest loss is a national dimension. We must think of post-harvest loss as food on our table itself. So the strategy is, one, to sensitize the entire country about post-harvest loss as a major issue for us. Two, yes, cold stores are not the only solution. They are only part of the solution, because the most perishable ones need cold stores. Yes, we are building other stores. Like I said, we are building dry floors. We are building stores in the URR and CRR, which are what also we are building these mega stores. So being aware of food post-harvest waste as a concern as a country is the beginning of the solution. And I think the conversation has started. I think that is what we need to spread in our families, in our individual homes, that every small thing matters, and there is serious food challenge in this world. India is our biggest, I think, supplier. I think of last week, they've announced that they are banning export of rice. Pakistan is a major rice producer. This year, you are all aware, Pakistan, about 70% of the country of Pakistan was flooded. So the supply of grain is going to be tighter in the world. So yes, let's manage our post-harvest loss, but also let us grow our grains. Thank you.
Honorable Member for Upper Salum.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, would the Honorable Minister consider CRR North and South for these cold stores? Because CRR is very big, and other ministries actually have started to consider the two as two regions, like North and South.
Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker. Thank you, Honorable Opasalu. Yes, CRR North, Wasu is a beneficiary of the cold stores, and that one is the first three to be built. I think I mentioned this earlier, one in Soma, one in Base, and one in Wasu. These are areas that are going to be started in 2020. They have already been started, actually. They are supposed to last. The project is 12 months, the construction period, so Wasu is a beneficiary. But also the agrology centers that I talked about, I mentioned it earlier, one should be in Farafenya and one should be in Wasu. So that means CRR North is already over-catered for. Thank you.
Honorable Member for Kiang West.
Honorable Minister of Agriculture, the subject of post-harvest loss has ever been green, but in rivers, there is a pre-harvest loss also, that the women will engage into this gardening until, few time prior to the harvest. Either the intrusion of particularly animals, or maybe diseases will come and they will have damages before the harvest. Do you have a recovery plan for these women who spend time, money, energy, to do this farming, and at the end of the day, before they harvest everything, do you have recovery plan for them?
Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker, and thank you, Honorable Kiang West. Yeah, whether it is pre or post-harvest, food loss is a concern. Currently, recovery is a challenge. We have our technical department, that is Department of Pest Control, and that is supposed to help with women from the get-go as far as disease control is concerned. We also have soil and water management that will help to mitigate issues arising from diseases or from production. We have our extension services under the Department of Agriculture, and extension workers are spread nationwide. So the structures are there to help our vegetable producers from the first stage all the way to the level of the market. So I'll advise that they take advantage of the structures that exist, and we will endeavor to control as much as we can the pre and post harvest loss that our women are facing. These issues of stores that we talked about are just part of the solution, but they are not exhaustive. Thank you.
Honorable Member for Foni Berefet.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Minister, talking of post-harvest loss, I know sometimes post-harvest loss occur through the market glut. But, Honorable Speaker, I want to ask the Honorable Minister, do they have any plan to stop the Senegalese vegetable producers coming to the Gambia that lead to the market glut and that have lead to this post-harvest loss?
Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker. Thank you, Honorable Member for the benefit. The issue of trans-boundary trade, I'll advise the Honorable Member to redirect her question to the Ministry of Trade and Regional Integration. Thank you.
Thank you, Honorable Members, and thank you, Honorable Minister of Agriculture. Let me thank you very much for ably answering questions posed by honorable members. Honorable members, I must apologize. A lot of people were looking at me in my eyes, and we were just trying to deal with the Agricultural Ministry. We now propose to suspend the sitting for about an hour for people to have their lunch and other issues. But let's please try to come back at a agreed time so that we don't stay here longer than necessary. It's already gone almost 19 after 4. Can we agree that in the next 1 hour, let's say by 5:30, we are all back here? Agreed. Is that comfortable to all members?
Agreed.
5:30. Please, let's try by all means, let's be here so that by 5:30 we start. The assembly now stands suspended until 5:30 prompt. Thank you. Can somebody move a motion first for us to sit beyond 6 p.m. to finish the other paper for today? Member for Opanyomi.
Thank you so much, Honorable Speaker. That's to move a motion that for the assembly to sit beyond 6 o'clock to finish business.
For Basel.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. I seconded the motion for us to move session process.
Honorable members, it has been moved and seconded that the House is beyond 6 o'clock to finish the order of business for today. Those in favor, please say aye. Not in favor, please say no. The ayes have it. Honorable members, the order of business has slight alterations. As per Standing Order 14.3, the order of business would be, we will have lands and regional government, defense, fisheries and water resources, Attorney General, youth and sports, transport, works and infrastructure. Clerk, can we now commence business?
Corrections for oral answers, Standing Order 3641.
by the Honorable Minister for Lands, Regional Government.
Honorable members, question number 0105 of 2022, member for Combo East. Member for Combo East, is he in? Down. He's out. Honorable members, question number 0106 of 2022, member for Latrikunda Sabigi.
Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker, for giving me the floor, and I welcome the Honorable Minister for Local Governments and Regional Integration. Honorable Speaker, could the Honorable Minister for Lands and Regional Government explain to this August Assembly why the government is not honoring its obligation to fully pay compensation to local councils as required by the Local Government Act?
Honorable Speaker and honorable members, good afternoon. Honorable Member for Latikunda Sabiji, thank you very much for that question. But since the coming into effect of this government, a subvention budget line was created under the Directorate of Local Governance to enable government fulfill its constitutional mandate or commitment since 2018. Government had been paying some amount ranging from 500,000 to 2 million per council yearly.
But this amount doesn't represent the actual government commitment, 25% of that commitment. That is not the actual amount. So why are you guys not paying the full amount?
Honorable Member, it will be rather very flabbergasting because I'm not sure if we know the bucket that councils have presented to calculate that it's not up to 2 million. It's possible it's 25%, it's 2 million. It's possible.
It is not, because I have interacted with all the local councils, and this is what they complain that they are not receiving the full package from the government.
Honorable Member, if you are conscious of the situation, you would have realized that the councils, 98% of councils have not been presented audited accounts to this office or to this August body for long time. Then how would we know that this is their actual spendings per month or per annum to enable the ministry know how much allocation this will get as a 25% contribution of government? It's not possible.
Thank you very much, Honorable Member, Honorable Minister. We now have the Honorable Member for Kansala.
Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker, the Minister. A quick one. Is there any plans as per the strategy of the Council for any future for the payment salaries for councillors? Thank you.
That's a substantive question. Honorable Member for Woolly East.
Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, what is obligated to the councils is 25%. And the Honorable Minister for Local Government is in tune with the realities of the local government. So I would have thought that you would be proactive in getting to the local councils to write their budget too. How can area council that is in Brikama and the one in Basse get the same amount? Because their budgets are likely to be different. How do you come to give them the same amount?
Honorable Speaker, I hope the Honorable Member is asking me a question that is new, because he's not asking me my own perception and my own mind created around the council's own revenue and the contribution of government, and what is our position about it. I think the question is the 25% specifically. Talking about the 25% is calculable by the amount or the amount of, let's say, the budgeted amount. Now, the budgeted amount of councils, how many times have we thrown out council's budget or reports in this parliament? Up 10 times, right? That means we don't have the financial report of councils to enable advise ourselves what the 25% could mean here. This is more of a reason in order to curb some of their challenges and to enable them implement some of the program. This is why Gambia government allocated $4 million per council. And notwithstanding, talking about the variation of the sizes of councils, that's why we have 500,000 to $2 million separately.
Honorable Minority Leader and Member for Bikama North.
Honorable Minister, this sounds very interesting. Are you trying to say it is as a result of failure of the council to submit their audited account? That's why you give them the amount from 500 to 1 million, 2 million. If so, since you talk of 98%, that means there are some that are in compliance. Why didn't you act that way and give them what the act required you to do so?
Up to the last time I was invited to this parliament, I think there was only one that we say or claim to have been compliance to the audited account submission approved by the National Assembly, honorable member. And adding to that, it's not an assumption. These are the facts we are ready through. I see no reason why government or the ministry will hold paying a subvention of 25% if the resources are available. Let's understand one thing. If the resources are available, government will not hold paying that amount to councils because it will be, councils are subsidiary organs of the government. So enabling them to function maximally is at the interest of Gambians as a whole. So I'm not, it's not an assumption, it's the actual thing on the ground. If they help us as we are planning to do, we will not be coming to this parliament again with ad hoc or incomplete audited accounts, inshallah, and this will advise the ministry and the Gambia government about what to do for councils.
Honorable Member for Banjul North.
Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker. Thank you very much, Honorable Minister. I just want you to clarify here, who approves the annual estimate budget for council? Is it the ministry or the councils themselves? Thank you.
Is the Minister of Finance? It's not council themselves.
Honorable Member for...
They budget and then we jointly convene.
Honorable members, please. Honorable Member for Lower Sal.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker, Honorable Minister. Honorable Minister, hope in your policy gap there is no lapses, because the 25% what the Honorable Member is asking, if the council is not running for a deficit, and no council around these regions they are all running for deficit. This 25% should have come to 40-60. The 60%, what goes back to the people is not forthcoming. Then why the government now giving subvention to the council when they are running of a deficit? Why?
Now, the subvention is to uplift and to also enable councils fulfill some of their commitment to communities. And I believe these are subvented accounts or amounts given to councils, and they have been monitored as per the program they have presented to government.
Members, we now move to the earlier question. The member for Combo East was out.
Thank you.
Next time we will make you last. If you jump in. Honorable question number 0105 of 2022, member for Combo East.
Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker. My apology. I apologize for running late. Honorable Speaker, could the Honorable Minister for Lands Regional Government update this August Assembly on the compensation status of landowners that had their lands assigned to the M.A. Karafi in Kuloro Kafuta and that of the University of the Gambia at Faraba.
Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Member for Combo East. The land that the UTG is occupying in Faraba, according to traditions, is a gift from the community to the government, and it was handed over to University of the Gambia. The Harafi Kafuta Kuloro scenario is the land has been acquired by government in a similar scenario, and instead given to Gaipa, who in turn rented it to Emeka Rafi. We are made to understand that this issue is currently in court, but we will also intervene to find out what has been the link between Harafi, Gaipa, and the community in terms of the rent that they pay to Gaipa that should either or anyway been amounts that are supposed to be shared between Gaipa and the community, or is it the communities, or is it only for Gaipa? We will find that out and then we'll let you know.
Honorable Member, Honorable Minister, if the matter is in court, then we'll wait until it is out of court.
Not all matters. That of the University of the Gambia, Honorable Speaker, I
am saying only the one that is in court. All others, you can put up your supplementary question.
Honorable Speaker, I still further want to ask the Honorable Minister, put it to the Honorable Minister that for the Faraba Banta campus, he has just stated that it is a gift from the community of Faraba or traditional owners. To me, this does not convince me much because people are claiming ownership of these lands and they could not identify the territories of these lands. The demarcations for these lands are not being identified better to these communities. If those kind of arrangements were made, I think farmers would not be conflicting in getting and crunching into the claimed premises of the university campus by way of occupying still as their farmlands, and some of them are disposing part of it.
What is the supplementary question?
The supplementary question is there any proof to show that these communities mutually were able to voluntarily issue these lands to the University of the Gambia on a mutual understanding?
Well, if the proof was requested in the question, we would have tried to get you the proof because that will be the list that has been subleased to the UTG. But unfortunately, we didn't ask that in the written question. So we will search for it and make it available to you.
Any other supplementary question, please?
Yes, Honorable Speaker. In respect to the allocation of Kafuta, Karafi Kafuta farm to the communities of Kafuta, I think could not be as of that of the the Karafi Chloro farm, which came before, after the emergence of the Kafuta farm. Is it a similar way that the Kafuta people also mutually offered this thing to the communities or to the M.A. Karafi, yes, or it is acquired?
Honorable Member, I think yes, that's what I said.
Honorable Member for Latrikunda Sabiji.
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker, and thank you very much, Honorable Minister. I just want to help the Honorable Minister to answer the question about land acquisition because we started that project. I think if you ask Ministry of Education,
Honorable Member, you have a supplementary question.
I'm suggesting actually, not a question. But I want to help the Honorable Minister that if they're going to Ministry of
Honorable Speaker, allow him.
You want to explain something?
about the land document that the honorable member requested.
Honorable.
He's not asking a question. Let him go ahead.
Yeah, I said we started the project, and before we started, you are right. The land was a gift. So probably if you go to Ministry of Education, you'll be able to see the land document there. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. I think he has helped his counterpart.
Honorable member for Woolly East.
Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, I just want the minister to tell us these three different lands, which one is actually in court, so that we know how to ask objections. Which one is in court and which ones are not?
Honorable member, is two issues here. It's Karafi and the UTG. The Karafi is in court.
To ask the question. Honorable member for Sami.
Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker. I also would like to withdraw. Hence, the land is for gift.
Thank you very much, Honorable member. Any other honorable member? Right, honorable members, we now move to question number 0107. Honorable members, we are now moving to question number 0107 of 2022 by the honorable member for Banjul South.
She's absent.
We now move to question number 0108 of 2022, member for Bikama South.
Thank you so much, Honorable Speaker.
Honorable Speaker, that's 0109 instead, that of Brikama South.
Yes, I'm on it. Honorable Speaker, could the Honorable Minister for Lands and Regional...
Hold on. I think a member has concerns. Honorable member, sedimentary?
No, it's okay. I thought it was 0109 instead of 0108. Thank you.
Honorable member, you can continue.
Thank you. Honorable Speaker, could the Honorable Minister for Lands and Regional Government tell this August Assembly when will the ministry engage its counterpart in the Republic of Senegal to clearly demarcate the border of Kombo Dasilame, Dimbaya, and Bajira?
Honorable Speaker, thank you very much, Honorable Member. I think this area in contention have been existing this way for the past 10 to 15 years. I can recall vividly because I was part of the committee that we are looking at these border issues around the country, particularly the border you are referring to. Honorable Speaker, the ministry with its counterpart, that is the Senegalese, with the support of GIZ, that is the German, has come up with a pre-demarcation activities which is in segments. One, the sensitization of the border communities that I was part of, which was around 2015, 2016. Training for the technical staff of both countries that I believe the permanent secretary present here of youths can remember. He was part of the team, and Lance Director, part of his, and several others part of it. Third, we come to documentation and verification and confirmation process. That is all training. Then we come to the determination of mapping and then tenure rights, with the corridor of the border. Then submission of the decisions on overlapping rights. Overlapping rights mean when you come to a village like Dimbaya, for instance. Dimbaya is a village where you have most of its part somewhere else. We will assume part of it is in Senegal and part of it is in Ghana. but their farmland, part of it, is also in Senegal or Casamance region. So these overlapping rights are to be discussed and mutually agreed upon to avail the people of Bimbaya to access their farmlands, even the border is demarcated within or outside their jurisdiction. Then the demarcation then follows. So, Honorable Speaker, the negotiations are on, but I will advise us all not to rush too much on this border thing. The reasons are the borders are there. We may want to reaffirm their locations in few parts of the country. But as I have just said, when you talk about Dimbaya, the police station in Dimbaya, right? Police station, there's a police station in Dimbaya. You know, the complexities are so much, Honorable Speaker. I wish to stop here until there are supplementary questions, please.
Thank you so much, Honorable Minister. I want you to understand Daslame in particular. There is a lot of threat that is posed to that particular community. If you go to Daslame, there are pigs that are invented claiming to be colonial pigs. And if you look at the level of encouragement coming, is alarming. I vividly remember I sent in this question in 2018, and up till date, you are telling me there are this, because I believe government positions remains, but individual keep on changing. But efforts has been made up to this level. Are you telling me that up till today you don't have a strategic plan as to engage this guy with regards to the demarcation?
Honorable member, which guy?
About your counterpart in Senegal, the local government ministry of Senegal.
We will engage them sooner to discuss. But as I have said earlier on, when you say the borders are plain and we call artificial borders, I may not concur well with that one. Because when you talk about the borders along Daselame, the place where those border poles are located, I don't know whether you've ever been there. No, it's not in the village at all. It's nearly 17 kilometers in southwest of Daselame itself. I walked up to that border you're talking about, the poles. You know, Honorable Member, we are working on this, and we will definitely protect the interests of this country at all levels, particularly when it comes to border. We will not allow the Senegalese or any other nation, okay, we are bordered only by Senegal. We will not allow Senegal to encroach and take our land, but we will not also allow ourselves to go and encroach in. We have been living mutually, and I think it's important we take this seriously. Our living with our neighbors, counterparts in Senegal, we need to learn so much together and live together.
Honorable Minister, I am born and brought up in this particular community, and I believe I know the place more than you do. In Daslame, there is a community called Tranquil, and if you are aware of it, a few years ago, there was serious Senegalese contingent that invaded that place with the pretext that they are coming to visit their own alkali in that community. And due to the maturity level of our security on the ground, it has been bloody. After that, again, our own immigration officer was seriously slapped.
Honorable member,
no, wait,
we
let
are
me
not
come.
in a debate. Please, pose your supplementary question.
Yes.
Please. How many times has you have somebody cautioned us all, making reference to the standing orders? Please, go ahead.
Honorable Minister, I don't know whether you are able to do a consultation if we are working on this. Are you ready to engage the indigenes, particularly within these regions, when you are going in for the demarcation?
No, that's conflicting. You don't engage the indigenes to go along with you on demarcations, you don't.
Honorable members, now we have the honorable member for Fonyi Kansala.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Minister, are there any plans to rebuild most of the fallen borders pegs within areas as part of your ministry's strategy plans?
Yes, there are plans, and we have got strategies, and we're just putting up resources to make sure we put up the border post. But then, where he's claiming right down towards Kanilai, all the way towards Jarasoma, are areas that are very sensitive when it comes to border towards the Gambia. I think we need to read a lot in it before we comment so deep on them.
Member for Brikama North.
Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Minister, you made mention of pre-demarcation activities. Which ones were successfully implemented and which ones are in progress or are yet to be implemented?
Thank you, Honorable Member. Point A to C are processes that have already been undertaken, and we're working on D, E, and F.
Honorable Member for Woodley East.
I withdraw my question because it's already answered.
Honorable nominated member Kebalam Fofana.
Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Minister, in your submission, you did say that you are engaging your counterparts with regards to the demarcation. Since these are border issues and border issues surround issues of sovereignty, can you tell us explicitly which level you are with regards to those engagements? Thank you.
Honorable Member, no, I can't say explicitly when this is going to be concluded. Sorry.
Honorable Member for Kiang West.
Honorable Minister, do we have a complete national map that can help us identify our borders between us and Senegal?
Yes, the national maps are available that can help show you the borders. But scientifically, we believe that earth movements and tilting and so on, in geographical terms, or the lands may tell you there are jargons. I'm a novice in it, but those are issues that helps or that affects demarcations and borders. But then maps are available, certainly maps are available for that.
Honorable members, we now have question 0109 of 2022 posed by member for Serekunda.
Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, the streets of Kanifing municipality are overwhelmed with street vendors and cars. Could the Honorable Minister of Lands and Local Government Minister tell this August Assembly what plans the ministry has to provide car parks, the zoning of businesses, and regulatory policy for market vendors? Thank you.
Thank you very much, Honorable Member. Honorable Speaker, the ministry had approved bylaws for KM to address the problem of street vendors. In short, KM came up with some proposals for bylaws of which the ministry have approved for them to implement. However, information from KMC indicates that most of these markets are unoccupied because vendors are unwilling to take places within the markets. Car parks are also always very empty. Drivers and the market vendors always prefer to be by the roadsides, which is sometimes very difficult for the ministry to be able to allocate these type of places, and they adhere to it. So it's important for us to note that for every layout in this country, government layout, as I said yesterday, there is always a provision for these social amenities. KM is not an exception. All other places along or throughout the country is not an exception in this.
Sorry. My question is, what plans does your ministry have to cater for car parks? As we all know, all the streets in the Kanifing municipality are occupied by cars. And here you stand saying you are giving subventions to the council, and that is car park fees, not subvention for that case. So my question is, what are your plans? Thank you.
Honorable Member, it's a subvention. 1, 2, car parks, car parks have been existing in Serekunda. I'm saying these things have been handed over to KM, and the cars are not getting into the garage, they are staying on the highway. And if the car parks are encroached, now we're coming back to government to look for a car park. The possibilities there are to claim people's homes or to look at lands that are empty and use them as car parks, And people spoke about the buffer zone to be used. Is it acceptable here for buffer zone to be used as a car park or to be used as a market? No, so these are problems we are facing as a ministry. So what we need to do is to, is to allocate people or relocate people to have space, but who will accept to be relocated? So it's a challenge and we are all facing the challenge together. I can assure you the government or the ministry is not relenting to make these amenities available wherever it is required, because these things are attached to the life of the Gambian people. Thank you.
Honorable Member for Woodley East.
Honorable Speaker, I have another question. These car parks you are talking about, they are being legitimized by the central
Honorable
government
Member,
collecting car parks.
Honorable Member, you have right to 2 supplementary questions, which you have asked. He came up twice.
That was the first question that I posed.
All right, Honorable Member for Woodley, can you please excuse me? Yeah. Let him have his second supplementary question. Yes, Honorable Member?
Yes, Honorable Speaker. Government have legitimized those so-called car parks within the municipality by collecting the car park fees, which were previously controlled by councils. So now that you are collecting the car park fees, yes?
Remember, also a question.
Now that government is collecting the car park fees and there is a need for car parks within the municipality, so what are your plans to provide car parks for the municipality?
Honorable Speaker, I'm not sure if the question is well placed. It's not the responsibility of the Ministry of Local Government and Lands to collect car park fees. I think he can redirect it to the Ministry of Finance or the Ministry of Infrastructure or Ministry of Works. Sorry.
A point of
Honorable Member for Woodley.
I have a point of observation. What I say, the ministry
Honorable Member, please. Honorable Member for Woodley East.
Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, the third leg of the question is, do you have regulatory policy for market vendors? Do you actually have regulation to regulate market vendors? Because they are selling everywhere. Wherever you go, they even occupy roads. So do you have a policy? And are you implementing that policy?
You mean the Ministry of Local Government have that regulatory framework? No, I'm not sure that's our responsibility, Honorable Member. I think that should be under the council also, directly.
On any
We are not jumping the councils to the vendors' place.
Honorable Minister, Honorable Speaker.
Whom are you observing?
I want to observe the Honorable Minister, because when he said that's not their responsibility, the council is under his purview. So council's responsibility can be shifted to him as he's overseeing the council. So he have, he can answer. Thank you.
Honorable Speaker, I think if the issue is put to the councils and the council brings it to the ministry, I think that will be a right channel than being asked a parliamentary question on that here. I think if, in fact, it is to be a parliamentary question, this is a new question that we can contact the councils to provide an answer for.
All right, honorable members, we now go to question number 0110 of 2022, member for Sani Mentoring.
Good afternoon, and here again I acknowledge the presence of the ministers here in present. Honorable Speaker, Could the Honorable Minister for Lands and Regional Government explain to this August Assembly the reasons for the demolition of the Salaji market in Sanimentary constituency? Yes, this has been raised yesterday and it has clearly been answered. It has, let me land please. It has clearly been answered. The reason why I read the question, I have raised this question and it has clearly been answered by the minister, and which I'm really satisfied with. But I am reading question because maybe the other honorable members may have a supplementary question attached to it. Thank you.
Honorable member, if I understand you, you are already satisfied with the minister's answers. Honorable members, we now move to question number 0111 of 2022 by the Honorable Member for Sani Mentereng again.
Honorable Speaker, could the Honorable Minister for Lands and Regional Government tells this August Assembly why a private clinic is being constructed on the land where the former ITC is located and who authorized the construction? Thank you.
Honorable Speaker, the Ministry of Local Government isn't aware of any construction of a private clinic within the site occupied by the ITC. However, our findings relate to us that there is an internal arrangement between the ICT and private doctor who manage with the management of ITC to rent a space and then do their transactions. So that is not under the auspices of the Ministry of Local Government.
Honorable Speaker, the people of Kesering, a particular committee, of course, have been claiming that this area was given to the Jawara regime then without any documentation. No, I'm just trying to clarify this thing to the Honorable Minister, why this question has been raised here. Honorable Minister, there's a particular committee called Kesering who owns this particular land before, which there was no documentation, of course, when they were given this particular land to the Jawara regime. And they said there was still a balance of 400 meters square, and which they've been claiming, of course, that they want that portion back to the community itself. And due to the complaint that I have received from them, that there is a particular clinic, maybe, which is under construction, and they finding out, or they wanted to know who authorized.
Point of order.
Yes, Central Body, you have a
yes,
point of order.
I just want to, we remind ourselves that parliamentary, supplementary questions are there for ministers to make clarification or for further clarification. But what the honorable member is doing is not seeking for clarification, but he's making a preamble.
Honorable member, you know, you have said this several times. There is even a time limit of 1 minute. All these things are inside in the standing orders. We don't need to remind each other. The standing order was prepared, approved for our own regulation. we should go by it. We should abide by it.
Honorable Speaker, I'm sorry, but I think I'm only trying to have a clarification on this particular issue. Thank you.
If there are things that are not clear to you, you still can go and ask the minister in his office, do some research, or you can call them for another parliamentary session or your committees to find out.
Okay, I can do so. Then we proceed. Thank you.
Honorable Member for Latrikunda Sabegi.
Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Minister, there is this skill center in Fajikunda. One woman is claiming ownership, and I'm sure the committee has written to you. Can you guys please listen carefully?
Honorable member.
The honorable minister understand what I'm.
Honorable member for Fatoumatta Jawara. Can you take a seat? Honorable members, you know, some other honorable members are tired and feel frustrated every time reminding us about our own regulations. It's frustrating. This is not the only time you can find out. Parliament is not only a legislative body, it's an oversight institution. And you are vested with certain powers, just to enable you to find out information to be able to ensure that your oversight is effective. But we should do it within the ambits of the regulations. Honorable members.
Can I come back, Honorable Speaker?
No. We now move to Woolley East. Please.
Thank you so much.
Honorable members, just Woolley East. You see, what we want to do is, if there is a question, a question is posed, the questioner has two more chances. If any honorable member wants to take part or put a supplementary question, raise your tag, we write in names, and you write your names. If we don't have the names, then I assume that nobody wants to talk about it.
If you want to receive monies from UK, Europe, USA, Canada, Switzerland, and the rest of the world, Supersonic's money transfer has got you covered. With the largest payout network in the Gambia, you can now receive your monies anywhere you are, from Kartong to Koina, with less hassle. Yes! You can receive monies from your family and friends in UK, Europe, USA, Canada, Switzerland, and the rest of the world with our safe, secure, fast, and convenient service that offers you the largest selection of payout locations in the Gambia. Supersonic's money transfer. We are currently in 34 African countries and counting, giving you quality money remittance services that are second to none. Visit the Google Play Store or the Apple Store today to download the Supersonics Money Transfer app and enjoy excellent money transfer services only with Supersonics.